Сьогодні прем'єр-міністр Канади Стівен Харпер в супроводі двох міністрів і президента Конгресу українців Канади Павла Грода відвідав Україну, підтримуючи демократичний вибір і територіальну цілісність України.
Конгрес українців Канади вітає візит до України прем'єр-міністра Канади Стівена Харпера 22 березня. Прем'єра-міністра Канади в Києві привітали амбасадор Канади в Україні Jurij Klufas, заступник міністра зовнішніх справ України Андрій Олефіров і заступник директора Державного протоколу України Михайло Бордович. Прем'єр-міністр Харпер зустрінувся із прем'єр-міністром України Арсенієм Яценюком.
You were the first one who imposed sanctions. You know, we have been, as you say, strongly supportive of Ukraine's independence and territorial integrity, not just recently, but from the very first days of 1991. You can always count on Canadian solidarity and partnership. It's long-standing. In recent months, the whole world has witnessed the courage of the Ukrainian people. Through such dark days, you have provided inspiration and a new chapter in humanity's ongoing struggle for the freedom, democracy, and justice of its citizens. Now you face an even greater test. For Ukraine, the consequences of the actions of the Putin regime are obvious and can only be remedied by their complete reversal. Furthermore, all of us who desire peace and stability in the world must recognize that the consequences of these actions will be felt far beyond the borders of Ukraine or even the European continent itself. We talked about this, Prime Minister. By his open repudiation of the Budapest Memorandum, President Putin has undermined international confidence in the protection afforded by such agreements. Ukraine relinquished its nuclear weapons, the nuclear weapons it inherited from the former Soviet Union, on the basis of an explicit Russian guarantee of its territorial integrity. By breaching that guarantee, President Putin has provided a rationale for those elsewhere who needed little more encouragement than that already furnished by pride or grievance to arm themselves to the teeth.
Після офіційних зустрічей прем'єр-міністр Канади Стівен Харпер відвідав Майдан і склав квіти на символічній могилі Небесної Сотні. На другий тиждень на «Контакті» детальний репортаж про цей історичний візит.
Сьогодні вперше наслідком численних прохань багатьох глядачів подавати новини з України англійською мовою, ведуча телеканалу Еспресо ТВ з України Анастасія Мельник представить першу серію підсумкових новин з України в англійській мові.
Good evening, I'm Anastasia Melnik and here are the most important developments in Ukraine for the last week. So-called referendum on the status of Crimea and essentially on joining Russia was held on March 16th under heavy Russian military control. Results of the so-called referendum are impossible to confirm independently. It is clear, however, that the results announced by the self-proclaimed Crimean government are disconnected from reality. Parliament of Ukraine has announced partial mobilization to a newly founded National Guard, a military unit that was established by the new government of the country on March 12th. At the same time, self-proclaimed Crimean officials continue to ignore the call of Ukrainian government to de-escalate the conflict in Crimea. It has now been a week since Crimea has come under the Russian rule. During this time, several people have been kidnapped, tortured and killed. Journalists reported that their work has become not only difficult but close to impossible, as they no longer have access to Ukrainian military bases, nor can they report on the real situation in Crimea because all of the peninsula is now under the full control of Russian occupying forces. Those were the most important events in Ukraine during this week. We will continue to inform you about the latest news from our country. See you again.